Alright, video 2, guys. This is the second video, and it's just on the start and what you do when you're starting. Alright, this is bad. I'm not gonna do this. Let's go for alright, so just to give you an idea of what we're gonna do here, we're gonna use this intro that I made recently. Okay, let me just play it. Yeah. Pretty lag, but here's what happened. Of somewhat like a rough idea of what we might do. Not this movie looks bad and that and whatnot, yeah. So from here, let's see, I already have some C4D loaded with some text movements. And pretty much the idea with this, the idea with your text movements are you start from, so say your text movement is 0, so let's copy this and go from here right there. So then we have this, delete the keyframes, put this to 0. So I press Q, but you could also do this and whatnot. But yeah, as I was saying, so let's say you have a camera movement starting at 0 and you want to do a full 360-degree turn, which, alright, so we usually, what I do is go 4 to 5 frames back, so go to 54. Then from here, it doesn't matter if you go this way, if you move it that way, or if you use this way, you'll still get the same results when it comes to rotating your text, which is the first thing you want to do when you're making an intro. So I usually go to like 80 and then go down over to, let's see, like almost a full turn. I don't know, like 285, go 200 degrees forward around, like that's an estimate. Then go 4 frames back, but actually we're gonna extend the movement, and from here you can do a full 360-degree finish, or go forward if you're gonna go the other way. So that's what I'm gonna do. So from here, what you have is a smooth turn, a seamless kind of turn or spin. Let's see. Yeah. So then from here you have a seamless turn, and it's, I think it should be more no, never mind. Yeah. If you want, you can spread out this keyframe and maybe it'll look a little more visible. And if not, just go here and go down to like 260, around there. Just make it seem like it's a smooth, fluid movement like that. It doesn't have to be slow, but it doesn't want to be too fast. You want to find the perfect spot, which this is just a rough idea of what you want to do. So if you want to do the other way turn right after you do a successive movement, what you can do is go backwards. So let's say 96, and then we go from here to 141, go back 4, and then from here we go to here, right? Because we're going to be continuing going backwards instead of forwards. So forwards, backwards. So then from here you should get something like this if you're following along. If you want to make it look smoother, just put this up more. It doesn't matter if it's facing in one keyframe. And if you want to do this, which kind of makes it a little more unique or more springy, like just hold shift on one of the arms and pull it out. It can just be a rough kind of, it doesn't have to be straight, but you know, just something that makes it look smooth. Then from here you get something like this, and it really blends well if you do the exact same thing with your camera movements. So I'll put the song in the description below, or not the description, but you get it. And then from here, what you can do is keep going. You can do these movements, 180 turn movements, but I usually don't, because it's, I don't know, you get to see behind the text more than the front of the text. So then, and make sure it's actually going continuously, not like that. So make sure it goes up more, so it's actually going at like a curve more, which I know it's hard to kind of get an understanding of. And please, like, unless you're doing what I said with this arm and whatnot, don't move the arms, because then it just won't be good, and it's just not really that useful for that. So yeah, just moving the keyframes up and down helps a lot more than just moving the arms, because it just makes a better impact on how the text moves and how the keyframes interact with each other. And then you get smooth movements like this, which they look instant kinda to an extent. So first you go like that. It seems like it accelerates too fast. And the theory behind F curves is the kind of steeper the higher the slope goes. See the distance between these two? If it's like distance over value. So think of it like this: if you have your value and distance, you have, let's go to calculator. So let's say our distance is 180 and our value is 5. It's 36, right? So let's put 36 as an expression, sort of speak. So 36 over here, right? I'm guessing the lower it is, or the higher it is, the faster it is that the movement is. And then from here, let's say 1 to 50 or whatnot. So let's take the keyframes. So we'll just say it's 50 keyframes to 0, and the value, we'll say it's 90 to 50. So the higher it is, the more speed you have, and the lower it is, the less speed you have. So from here, 50, or it's actually 90 over 50. And then you have a slower speed. So then you kind of see how this correlates with your movements. So you want to have a slower speed until you make your big movement, which goes up to a higher speed, which is almost like 200 times higher than your slow speed. But don't take the 200 as like a golden number or a golden kind of expression or anything. Just using this as an example. But yeah, so that kind of explains how your F curve should kind of work. And I know this font isn't the best because of the R and whatnot. I should import, actually I'll import E. This just makes it a little easier on me. I'll also be giving this away too. Oh no. You want to have movement and life to your movements. So right now this is at 186. So that's our ending. We're just gonna cut it half an intro, pretty much. So from here we're gonna do camera movements, and this is just gonna be like a quick intro. Just gonna cut it off really fast and a little effortless, but yeah. So from here, what I like to do is just actually, alright. So this is real big difference between using the rotation tool, because if you go up here and go over, it changes all your coordinates instead of just changing one. So if you were to go like this, then up, then over, it would just do it on 1 degree at a time instead of all 4, which if you want like this, and then you want like this, it would change your entire thing. So it depends on what your movement should be. So from here, what I would do is to start I'm just trying to get that like sweet area that you can start off in. So right here, I'm just gonna set a keyframe right here, and then from here going to 58, going down to 53, and then this is where I kind of use this, so you could actually like use both of them in a combination to make a pretty golden movement. Which I know that sounds weird, a little weird to say, but yeah. So just have it here. Actually, I'll put this back. And set this to 120. Go forward, going forward. Right from here, and then right here, just do the same movements, coordinating with your keys. So make sure you have like a even balance between your movements and your keyframes. So if you play this, which this isn't really the best movement, but it's a smooth, nice, fluid looking movement. So if I just make this a better keyframe, which you can see the difference when you change it from here, which makes it a higher value, or a higher value and a lower value and then a higher value, which doesn't make sense when you put what I put in 2 terms. But say this is still 36, right? Just at a lower, just a little lower. So let's say 28 or 34 or 32, and then this, instead of being a 1.8, it's a 2.4, right? So if you change this, put it down, now this is a 36, and this is back to being a 34 or a 1.4 or 1.8. So it just depends on how you want it to work. Don't use that as like a universal rule for making intros, but I find it's easy for me to understand. And then from here it doesn't look as good as it did before, but the thing I like to do is go here to one of, and then do an opposite movement, which correlates with your text rotation, which went the opposite way as soon as it finished revolving. So then, and you don't have to do a rotation on this either. You could just change it a little bit. And get in surplus of results. So let's say and then so you just want to over exaggerate a little bit when it comes to so yeah, just take it easy. And why you want to enable clamp is simply for the kind of, because you get restricted when you use. Also, if you want to get rid of all the other rotations, just do this. Yeah, why you want to turn off clamp is because you get restricted by this line, this dotted line. So if I were to turn on clamp right now, it would get restricted by this line because that's the pinnacle of your movement, and it doesn't want you to go over this line, which is your limit, until you make a higher movement, which the line changes. You can also change the this to make a more profound impact on how this works. I don't usually mess with the green too much because it doesn't really impact that much. And then from here you have a nice looking movement which you could use. Alright, so first we have to fix this. And then there you go, much better. Because you can actually see the difference. And if I turn this up more, you would probably see like better understanding of how this works with the effector that I'm using currently. Let's turn this up more. And then from here, just, whoa, that's not good. Definitely not good. No bueno. So go to a higher. Oh no. Oh my god, my computer's lagging. I really want to get this done before I finish. Just before I even quit making intros. Make things easier on me. It relieves a lot of stress. So then from here, I know this isn't a good kind of response. Alright, we'll just use this as an example. See how this is flat. You want it to be continuously moving. So you don't want this to be at a super low number. Like, it can be, let's say you can have a 1.5 and above, but you can't have anything lower than a 1.5. This, let's say this is a, which, going back to the example that I was showing you guys about the what's it called? Going back about the example about the numbers, like dividing in and all that shit. That really starts to make more sense when you understand why the acceleration's like how it is and how it works. That doesn't mean these have to be equal, because of course it's distance and value that determine the number, not just value. I will just say this is a good enough intro for the tutorial. I'm not trying to make an outstanding intro, which I know sounds like an insult to many, but it's true. And this is like one of the most, I'd say, important parts when it comes to making an intro, because it really gives depth and perception of an intro. Because look, I will just say go back here. It's a lot more energetic than it was before. So then I'm gonna do what I always do, just exaggerate them, and then from here and give just more depth and life. It really makes the movement look a lot nicer than it was before, and I'll kind of add this to make it more full. Also, I'll put the grid, just because a lot of you guys will have grid on, but personally I don't like it. And the reason I turn off the grid is because you won't have it in After Effects, so it's easier for me to just turn it off. But it's just personal preference, and then from here, your final movement. Then, yeah. I'll just have it end off like that. And this is a really bad example of what you should be doing. There you go, that's a much better version. And make sure you really ease the movements out more than they already are. And then I'll just make it look a lot nicer. And yeah, so then after this you're pretty much good, and then yeah. Alright, there you go. So from here you're kind of good. Just get yourself some mats, which I will provide these mats, and let's see, these in the pack that I'm going to release before I quit, if it will let me show the mats. Yeah, these. If you want to use them, I don't really care. I just made them and whatnot. It's just whatever, right? So yeah, I'll just put the lighting and everything in the probably the pack that you're watching it in right now. And yeah, whatnot. I will load in an old file, more chill file, I guess. And yeah, and you guys should be good once you render all this out. Depending on your computer, it'll be fast or slow if you have a good graphics card. If you don't, and whatnot, and yeah, you should be good. So I know you could have done a lot more, like add more text rotations and whatnot, and yeah. Also, if you want to know how to make a marker, just press space and it creates a marker. As long as you have this on, it will create a marker, or this, it will create a marker. So if there's a layer without that, you know why it won't make a marker. So yeah, and you should be good after you render and everything, and goodbye.